What's up, everyone? All right, I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. It's Sunday afternoon here, and I'm going to give you my game plan for the week ahead, my watch list for tomorrow. I'm feeling a little bit better. Friday felt pretty awful. I traded only for about 2 hours, made $2,000, finished off what had been overall a fairly choppy week. Anyways, I guess finished last week with about $18,000, 16, 17, 18 in gross profit. A bit less after fees and commissions. Despite Monday being a bad day, I was able to recover. Monday, first red day for me since June. And you can see kind of started red right away. Recovered miraculously, $10,000 recovery from red to green. And then in 2 trades, all the way back down to basically the lows. And then took a stupid, emotionally impulsive sort of YOLO trade. Not YOLO, but just a revenge trade, and that cost me extra $5,000, which was just dumb. So, and it was kind of funny because I had a good session last week. Those of you guys who are new to Warrior Trading, we've been running a onboarding series for new members right now, which is currently running. And you guys, if you join now, you could catch up, and that'd be fine. But anyways, Jess and I have been running it. Jess has just earned his $1 million badge, $1.5 million badge at Warrior Trading. Those of you guys who don't know his story, he's been trading for probably just about as long as I have. He might have gotten started just a little later, like a year or two later, but he's been trading for quite a while. And let's see, he's one of our all-star students here. So where's his, I'm looking for something specific. Success stories. So yes, this is Jess here. So he's got his $1.5 million badge, which is amazing. We're super proud of him. And he and I were talking about this kind of like just struggle of, every now and then, still falling victim to that emotional impulse to capitulate to FOMO, make some mistakes, and next thing you know, you've dug yourself a big hole. So anyways, then we had a great session with Max on Thursday. He joined us, and Max has got his $1 million badge, and he's getting ready to upgrade that. He's been having a fantastic year. So, he also was talking about that experience of having a really nice long hot streak and then going into almost like a 6-month long drawdown where he was just like, could not get out of his own way, which is pretty intense. So he's been able to get out of that, and now he's been on another hot streak. But it speaks so much, I think, to mindset and how when you're on a hot streak, you get so confident. You start taking trades and taking risks that, in a hot market, like it just really pays off for you. But then once your confidence gets kind of broken, whether it's from, just taking one big stupid loss or whatever it might be, it can really take a minute to get yourself kind of back into a good space. So anyways, I kind of had a slip up on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're all kind of still trading a little bit in the shadow of that. And then Friday, but because I've been under the weather, I just was like, I really can't trade too much at all. I just don't feel well. But TNON, what was interesting here on this is I saw a number of you guys post in the comments that you were trading it early, trading at 4 a.m. Several people said they bought at $7, $8, $9 and got exits at $30, $40, $50, $70 a share, which is absolutely amazing. It seemed like everyone who did that was doing it with small size. But then I saw a couple people talking about how they shorted it, and they went short at 18 or 20, thinking like this is just going to reverse, and all of a sudden they're down almost $100 a share. And how a couple of people said they almost blew up their account on this. And that's the one thing that I would caution is that, gosh, you've got to be so careful shorting these types of stocks because, look, if you shorted 10,000 shares of this, which you start with 2,500 at 10, and then you add at 15, you add at 20, you add at 25, you add at 30, and you're like, it's no way it's going to go higher. Next thing you know, it's showing $80 on the ask, $120 on the ask. you're down $1 million unrealized. Imagine giving back, losing $1 million in 30 seconds. It's kind of scary when you think about it. And fortunately for traders who trade to the long side, the most we're ever risking is, well, the amount of money we put into the trade. So like right now, I've been pretty religious about keeping my account relatively small. And look, I know there's some people that have different approaches to that. They let their accounts get pretty big, and that's fine. I mean, do whatever you want. But for the most part, I keep my account pretty small. Let me actually go check. I'm gonna check my balance here. So in July, I drew. So in July, my account had grown up to about $377,000, and I was like, this is just unnecessary. I don't need that much money there. Now, one of the things that I like to do is when I've got that extra money, I said I'm going to take out 300 grand from this, 290, whatever, and I'm going to put it away into my long-term account. And in my long-term account, I'm going to have it, just set it, forget it, let it grow slowly, not too aggressively. And each month when I look in, I want to see that it's up, 0.5%, 1%, something like that. Just, nice slow growth. And so I'll let that money now work for me over on my it's a direct rollover to my long-term Roth IRA. So I dropped my account down to about it was about $86,000. And then on that first day, I made 8,000, which jumped it right up to 94. I guess it was 6,900 after fees and profits. So anyways, my account, I reset down to about $90,000, whatever it was. Now, I haven't taken any money out, August, September, and then, or through August, and then just here in September, I took out another 300,000. So I said, you know what? My account's grown again. I really don't need to keep that much money in it. So boom, took out $300,000. So now that's 600,000 almost that's come out this year, just in taking the profit out. So by doing that, that $600,000 can now grow at 7% a year, 5%, 7%. I'm not being too aggressive with the way it's invested because I don't want to lose that money. I know how hard it was to make 600,000 trading. I don't want to just throw it into the long-term market and watch it drop by, 30% because we have a market crash. So I just invest more conservatively, but kind of the idea there is to keep a relatively small amount of money in my account at any time because I really don't need that much money for active trading. And so the most that I could lose right now is $155,000. Well, the current balance, $166,000 in my account. That's the most that I could lose right now, based on my trading to the long side. But if you took a $155,000 short position on something like this and you shorted 10,000 shares at $11 a share, whatever, or 15, 16, really all of a sudden you could be down $1 million. And I saw some people talking about that on social media. And so I was like, wow, that is pretty unreal. It's pretty wild to me that there are people that'll just short as something like this is popping up without realizing the risk that they're putting themselves in. So, I mean, it's not unlike, a long bias trader just clicking the buy button on something like, was it Ride? This one? I think it was this one. So look at this stock, Ride. Look at how this one just dropped. I mean, it would be like just being like, oh, well, it dropped from 22 to 18, so I'm going to buy it here. And I'm going to add more here. And I'm going to add more here. Next thing you know, it's at $4 a share. I don't know. You just have to wait for confirmation. So anyways, traders that take the kind of risk of just shorting anything that pops up, that'll work until it doesn't. And then in one trade, you can blow up your whole account. Your career is over. That's the thing that to me is an unacceptable level of risk. I've been trading for, more than a decade, and there is no way I would want to allow one trade to end my career, to give back everything that I've made. It would just be so completely unacceptable. You know what I mean? I just couldn't possibly tolerate that. So that's where I am at on TNON and, thinking about some of these stocks. So now as we talk about the week ahead, we had on Friday NOVV, super light volume, didn't hold up super well. I think the issue here it's a light volume stock. Light volume, it's just not safe to trade. The spreads are too big. Similar sort of issue with a couple others. SMX did end up having a nice rally in the afternoon. So it had popped up at 5 a.m., sold off, and then rallied back up here at like noon. So that was kind of the strongest one. It tried to come up again, like a flat top breakout, but then it kind of got over that level, but it wasn't able to pull away. So, I would say SMX is still worth watching for Monday. The reason I would say it is because overall, I mean, it's holding up pretty well, right? So certainly if it gets over 7, but it's holding up relatively well. So I think it does still have some potential. The things that we have going for us on SMX, you've got this 299,000 share float, super low float. High from yesterday or Friday, whatever, is 720. The problem is it might pop up at 4 or 5 in the morning and then sort of the way it did here, pop up and then be fading by the time, 7, 8 a.m. comes around. Most traders can't trade before 7 a.m., so a pop at 4 a.m. doesn't really, it's not going to have a lot of volume. It's not going to serve. Look at the amount of volume on this pop here versus the volume here. So this is liquid. This you can move in and out with, big size. You can make some good money. This is so thin, it's hard to make good money on it. So anyway, SMX is a possibility. I suppose looking at the daily chart on it, it does still have room to curl. It would be continuation, of course. And it's already had a couple days where it's popped up, sold off, and then it's coming back up again here. So it's worth keeping an eye on. We could check the SEC filings on it just for a second. Okay. So Dublin, Ireland. Huh. Let's just see. So December 2023, cash and other equivalents in thousands, so $168,000. It's quite minimal. The goodwill is kind of, a lot of their assets are not really super tangible. Operating loss, wow. Huh. Yeah, so they've got quite the loss there. I don't know. Tough balance sheet. Seems like a company that would probably be in need of raising money. So they've got the prospectus supplement, resale up to 69,000 shares. So this makes it pretty clear that they're going to be raising capital by selling shares. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on whether there's enough buyers to absorb all of that, but not sure. So SMX, we'll see what happens. time was this? And then these other ones, OMIC, I mean, it was grinding higher, but it's not anything I'm that crazy about. So that one, I don't know. It's just, again, it's light volume. It's up at the 200 moving average right here. So just leaving that one alone. CJET, very light volume on Friday. I'm just really interested to see, and I mean, and also for what's worth, TNON, this just sold off. I mean, it just sold off all day long. Like that was that. So I don't know. I sort of am gonna. My thought is to start Monday morning. I got to start a little bit slower than I did last Monday. Just take it a little easy. Don't overstay my welcome. Just try to get in, get green, build a little cushion, and then go from there if I can get a cushion started. I just don't want to push my luck and go right back into digging myself a hole, which I then have to spend the rest of the week trying to recover from. So we may see some action on SMX. There may be some other stocks, low float stocks or penny stocks. I was kind of surprised we didn't have any penny stocks that were squeezing up really on Thursday and Friday, because that was kind of the theme earlier in the week with QH and CNEY. But then things kind of shifted to these lower float stocks. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm happy to trade what's moving and what's giving us volatility, but it just surprised me that we had that kind of shift in the middle of the week. Those of you guys who want to join me next week, by the way, I'll put a link in the description for a 2-week trial at Warrior Trading, so you can check that out. And I'll also put a link in the description for my free class. That free class it's about a 90-minute long course that is going to walk you through my strategy and how I approach the market. So for those of you guys that are sort of very beginners, you're not in a place where you can really do a 2-week trial right now, but you do want to learn more about my trading, that is something you could check out. So those 2 links will be posted in the comments and pinned to the top of the description for this game plan. But yeah, my thought really is, in terms of helping cultivate that healthy mindset where I'm confident and I'm feeling good and I'm taking, good risks and I'm not being reckless. I need to get a couple more days under my belt where I'm in the green and I'm just like, kind of slow and steady. Because one of the problems is once you have that big loss, like I had last Monday, then you get sort of like, I don't know, you just sort of get fired up. Like you're just swinging hard at everything, and you might get a couple nice winners, and I did, but then you also catch a couple big losses. And it's like, you need to slow everything down a little bit, because that type of trading can just start to spiral real quick. All of a sudden you have a loss. Like if I sit down Monday morning and on my first trade, I'm down 2,500, immediately I'm going to be like, this is just like I'm going to go right back to where I was last week. So I have to prevent that type of drawdown. And that means trading with smaller size, of course, on my first trades tomorrow, and trying to be really disciplined about building the cushion. At the end of the day, it's all about discipline. Whether or not I can be disciplined to follow my rules and to rein myself in and to not, swing for the fences with huge size to try to make, a $20,000, $30,000 winner on my first trade on Monday morning. As nice as that would be, because I think for whenever you have a loss, it's like what would feel really great right now is a huge winner, because then I get to erase the feeling of being a loser. It's like it's gone because I've replaced it by being a winner. So now you're kind of trading, seeking emotion, seeking feeling better about yourself. And so that's where you start taking more risks, you start being more aggressive, and then, things can get pretty bad from there. So now if we look at the overall market, obviously the closer we get to the election, we're going to continue to see some volatility there. The market, we're back up more or less to our highs right up here. So we keep kind of selling off, coming back up, selling off, coming back up. So I don't know if we're going to come back down to that 200 moving average before testing, a new breakout. I sort of thought we were going to come back down to the 200 before rallying, but anyways, now this is where we're at. So we'll see what the market looks like early this coming week. But it's definitely going to be interesting. This is like sort of the politics and the market sort of coming together here right up into November. So there's a lot of pressure, from different, political pressure for the market to sort of do this or do that before the election to sort of set one or the other up for a potential win. So there's a big battle going on here, which would make it extremely hard if you're trying to trade large caps or indices or probably Forex as well. For small caps, volatility is what we look for. And yeah, the moves that we had this last week really had nothing to do with politics or the election or anything like that. They were just, the market being kind of volatile and crazy, because that's small caps for you. So, yeah, anyways, I think at this point, while I would keep SMX on watch, if it works, it's probably going to break out too early, and then it'll be ruined by 7, 8 a.m. And if it fails, then it's just not even going to be in play. So I just feel like this kind of setup probably isn't going to end up giving me a trade, but you never know. So that'll be a side chart, a possibility. TNON, some people would try to do a bounce on it. I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, yeah, it might bounce, but I don't know. I think the better approach would be looking for something else. As you may have noticed, I didn't do an episode on Friday for the small account challenge. I didn't take any trades in Thinkorswim on Friday. I just felt like there wasn't anything that was high enough quality, so it's better to have it a no trade day. So no trades on Friday, but tomorrow, manned up, getting some trades. But I want to kind of. I don't think my first trade of the day is going to be in the Thinkorswim account, because I want to first get a gauge and a sense of like how strong the market feels, and if things like are moving, and if they are, then maybe I'll take some trades. So first, I'm just going to kind of break the ice in my main account, try to build a little bit of a cushion, and then go from there. Some of you guys checked out my episode for the small account challenge. I've got a couple episodes right now that have gone up. So episode 1 and then episode 2. So make sure you guys check those out. And then I'm inside my traveling trading station right now, and I had this upload on Saturday, which you guys could check out as well. All right, so I hope you guys have had a great weekend. Let's get ready for the week ahead. Make sure you get some rest tonight, get to bed early, and we'll be up. I'll be streaming just at 7 a.m., right on the dot, looking for some momentum, and hopefully we see some good opportunities tomorrow, and that get the week off to a good start, so we can have a really nice, strong week here, kind of mid-September. All right, so that's it for me. I'll remind you, as always, that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow, and I'll see you guys back here live streaming Monday morning for members at Warrior Trading.